it's a little bit different out here when you get Caitlin Clark treatment. It ain't so easy peasy getting to play one-on-one, getting to just do your thing how you want to do it, when you want to do it.
This is crazy. The mask has slipped, the illusion is gone, and the so-called prophecy has been shattered. The WNBA's attempt to force a next Caitlin Clark storyline just blew up on national TV. Paige Bueckers, the media's golden pick, the supposed successor to Clark, the one marketed as the face of women's basketball's future, just got a harsh wake-up call, courtesy of the Seattle Storm. And let's be clear, this wasn't a minor stumble. It was a full-blown exposure, a reminder that hype doesn't last when it runs into real WNBA defense. Tell us in the comments if you buy into the Paige Bueckers hype. Let's dive in.
This was the first time we saw Paige really get guarded. This is where we saw what is going to happen in year 2. This is the scout report that needs to be out there on Paige Bueckers once the Dallas Wings get good, because the Dallas Wings are going to get good at some stage in her career. This was the game where I'm like, okay, we can shut up that.
For months, the story was fed to fans like a scripted PR campaign. Paige Bueckers was painted as the chosen star, the automatic heir who would not only follow Clark but surpass her. The media couldn't get enough, endlessly pushing the idea that Paige was transforming the game faster than Clark ever had. Headlines piled up, branding her as the perfect package: polished, intelligent, efficient.
The elevation of one Paige Bueckers. Oh, she's better than Caitlin Clark. I mean, stab me in the eye with a spoon, for Christ's sakes. Wow. So that's a thing right now. Last night, Paige Bueckers dropped 44 points. And we're going to look at a video that just dissects and exposes a lot of that shit. Let me tell you, it exposes a lot of stuff involving Paige Bueckers getting special treatment on the court.
Remember when even Paige's former coach Gino Auriemma spoke about Caitlin Clark? That comment framed how many people viewed Clark early on, doubting her, undervaluing her, while Paige was hyped without hesitation.
And Diana said it best. This kid's in for a rude awakening. And they all jumped over her, but they didn't read the whole thing that she said. But nobody's printing. You know, Diana Taurasi was right. This kid's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie. And if you're a WNBA player, if you're any kind of player, you're going to say, I'm going to make a statement.
Paige grabbed the record of being the quickest to 200 points and 50 assists, beating Clark's mark by a single outing. That little stat had analysts buzzing, praising her readiness and comparing her favorably to Caitlin. The hype train was rolling fast, with ESPN happily selling premium seats. But hype always has an expiration date, and reality showed up dressed in Seattle Storm green.
Diva of Dump Divas Kat Engelbert is breathing a sigh of relief. Her pretend friends in the mainstream media, they are trying to crown a new star. If the media has it their way, this could potentially be the new face of pretend basketball. And it's not just the woke media. There are even some in conservative media who are voluntarily biting into the shit sandwich. Headline at Outkick: no Caitlin, no problem. Paige Bueckers can save the WNBA season.
Coming off her overhyped breakout, a 44-point explosion against the Sparks, Paige walked into Seattle like she was still at a parade in her honor, but the Storm weren't offering applause. They brought traps, contests, and physicality. What followed wasn't a celebration, it was a breakdown.
She went off in a game against the Los Angeles Sparks, scoring 44 points, but the craziest part about that was her shooting percentage. She shot over 80% from the field, and I tweeted about that, and I was like, that's actually insane. Give props where they are due. Shooting over 80%, scoring 44 points is actually insane. But with this game, like, Paige Bueckers she put on a masterclass in scoring, and I think with that, these are some big numbers.
Paige ended with just 11 points. Not in a quarter, not in a half. 11 total, and on a dreadful 2 for 11 shooting night with 0 assists and only 2 rebounds. That box score looked less like a star in the making and more like a player overwhelmed. Seattle's coach Noel Quinn even hinted at it before tip-off. Time to see if this princess could handle the Caitlin Clark treatment. Spoiler, she couldn't. She crumbled.
For the game, you said it's going to be important to be physical with like Paige Bueckers. Can you talk about the defensive game plan for Dallas and like how your team was able to hold them to their fewest points of the season?
Yeah, it started, with our attention to detail with Paige. I thought, Slim was very physical, stayed in her space, and the actions that we guarded her in, we were very aggressive, showed multiple bodies, and kind of, made her hesitant to use the ball screen a little bit. I thought we rotated well.
And here's the real difference. While Paige was unraveling after one night of tough defense, Caitlin Clark has been enduring that storm for over a year. She didn't just enter the league, she flipped it on its head. And the price? Punishment. That even NFL linebackers would respect. The proof is brutal. 17% of all flagrant fouls in the 2024 season were committed against Clark alone. That's not basketball, that's targeted abuse.
Paige Bueckers got Caitlin Clark treatment for the first time in her career, and it looked bad. It looked real bad. Everybody was running around. Yeah, she was cooking 44 points versus the Sparks. They didn't play a lick of defense, letting this girl play one-on-one basketball in every area of the floor, letting her post up in the mid-range area one-on-one. Now, I'm giving credit. She's a bucket in one-on-one, especially from that mid-range, from the free throw line down area. But this is the first time we watch teams actively be persistent about taking away her spots and what she wants to do.
Take the Chicago Sky, for example. They practically made it their mission to rough her up, accounting for 80% of those flagrants. Meanwhile, Paige was treated with kid gloves, like she was still running college scrimmages. The first time she faced Clark-level physicality, she vanished. Her shot disappeared, her efficiency collapsed, her impact evaporated. Seattle's defense treated her like a star and exposed her as anything but.
She got blitzed. She got doubled. And do you want to know what she did as soon as she got blitzed and doubles? She passed. Paige Bueckers, look, she played decent amount early in the game. The game was kind of over and she got subbed out. Paige Bueckers shot 7 times.
The media had been worshiping her shooting percentage as proof she was superior. Paige's clean 47.4% clip was paraded around, contrasted with Clark's rookie 41.7%. Analysts sold it as undeniable evidence she was more refined. But here's the truth they skipped. Clark was taking the toughest shots in the league while being hacked with barely any whistles. Paige's efficiency came against soft coverage and open looks. The moment she was defended like a franchise player, her stats imploded. 2 makes on 11 tries. That's not efficiency, that's smoke and mirrors. Meanwhile, Clark keeps drilling deep threes, absorbing contact, shrugging off elbows, and still filling highlight reels that sell out arenas. Her durability makes Paige's struggles stand out even more. Clark shows she can take punishment and still perform at a generational level. Paige got one taste and disappeared.
Paige Bueckers, let me ask you this. How did it feel to be blitzed and played 94 feet before you even get a chance to bring the ball up court like your name was Caitlin Clark, aka my precious Cece? You didn't like that, huh? You hear me? You out there was looking like you was about to cry. Yeah, so what do your fans have to say now? Excuse me, where are you Paige Bueckers fans at? That's y'all MVP and face of the league, right? She's boring. She's not good enough. She gets special treatment. But understand, she kept getting blitz after blitz after blitz.
Let's not sugarcoat it. Paige Bueckers faced 1 game of Caitlin Clark treatment and she collapsed. The media's next Clark looked more like a bench option. These are the same experts who swore she was the better player, steadier, sharper, more efficient. Yet under bright lights and real pressure, she looked lost. That's the gap between hype and history, and Clark has been making history since the start. Paige, she's just another name in the long line of players who couldn't stand in Clark's shadow. The stats, the tape, the narrative all prove the same point. Paige Bueckers isn't Clark's successor. She's a creation of media hype that finally unraveled. When Seattle exposed her, they didn't just give her a rough night. They pulled the plug on an illusion that ESPN and the WNBA had been desperate to sell ever since Clark transformed the game. And once fans saw the truth, the myth collapsed.
Look up how the WNBA played against Caitlin Clark in terms of the defensive strategy, in terms of the other basketball teams around the WNBA, what they did against Caitlin Clark versus how they've handled Paige this year. Everybody wants to act like Paige is so much better than Caitlin. They're certainly not playing defense on Paige the way they played on Caitlin. They're certainly not attacking her with unnecessary fouls the way they attacked Caitlin with unnecessary fouls last year. So in the 2024 season, there were 35 flagrant fouls called. Caitlin Clark received 17% of the entire season's flagrant fouls, 17%. I mean, we've seen all the injuries, we've seen all the fights, the MMA fights that the WNBA players have gotten into this year. There haven't been 35 flagrant fouls called.
So what do you think? Is Paige Bueckers really the next big thing, or was this game the reality check the media didn't want us to see? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more WNBA stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.